Sex. No. Hey everyone, hi Sleep Talkers, and today I bring to you the last match, one of the final exchanges, or the final exchange of the Spotlight Tournament, the GSC Underused Tour. And we have Diophantine and Esche facing off for the title, for the big trophy. I don't know if there's actually an icon or trophy, but definitely for the bragging rights as best UU player that is currently active. Now, these two have had pretty solid runs, and as you already know, we've already seen Diophantine play before, really proficient. I am actually pretty excited to see some of what Esche has to bring to the table. Pardon me if I'm not pronouncing that name right. But before I get to that, quick shout-outs if you guys have enjoyed any of the GSC content and would like to recommend some things that you might want to see in the future, then, you know, you can leave a comment. Especially if anyone has any questions relating to metagames, or if there's anything they just want to see in the future. I'd be glad to try and cover it, even though my schedule with uploading isn't quite as frequent as I'd like it to be. But without further ado, I say, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do that, and let's get into the game. Now, it is a best of 3, so this may take a while. I suggest you get some popcorn and buckle your seatbelts and relax as we get into some of the fun. So, okay, now we see, first of all, a Mr. Mime lead. You know, could be paralysis support or baton pass. We don't know just yet, but a good switch to Nidoking here, Dodge of Thunder. Electabuzz is faster. Could be risky in certain situations because it also might mean that the Electabuzz, I don't know, Esche might not be afraid of his Electabuzz being put to sleep, and we see a Granbull here, maybe it's Heal Bell. Esche already in the chat challenging Diophantine, saying, let's see the Ice Beam freeze. So, yeah. And in comes Omastar, very solid Granbull check. That's because often you will see Curse Granbull, and Granbull isn't quite like other normal sweepers in other tiers, mainly Snorlax, as you might think. And that's because he has a bit of a hard time handling rock types, and he doesn't have a lot of special defense. So even if it uses Curse Rest Talk, Omastar is still a very solid check because of all of the damage it can do to it. Okay, so, and here we have interesting matchup, Hypno versus Slowbro, one of the two most solid defensive psychic types in the tier. We have a Reflect Hypno, so something is telling me that this could be a Baton Pass team, but I'm not quite sure yet. I wouldn't be ready to make that claim. Maybe Diophantine just wants the screen support, which is understandable. So we see a Blastoise, which is one of his trademark mons. He uses it a lot with Rest Talk and Rapid Spin. Very hard to break, very defensive. Nidoking coming in on all of these Thunderbolts. Esche doesn't seem to be caring about making a prediction with Ice Punch or Psychic or something like that to hit the Nidoqueen. And I'm guessing that the Nidoqueen with Ice Beam and Thunder, they might also have Moonlight, because the team on Diophantine's side could be very weak to Scyther. So, especially with no Fire Blast. So yeah, Fire Blast is usually better to hit Scyther. And it also means that you're not weak to Pinsir, but there's all of the Reflect support and stuff, so the team definitely wants longevity. It doesn't look like an offense team. That's why I said no Lovely Kiss. Lovely Kiss and Moonlight are not compatible. I've been going on for a million years about that. In the meantime, we have Curse, Quillfish, and Blastoise. So Curse Quillfish is actually a pretty solid answer to Blastoise, and that's because it will be taking more damage than normal from a Sludge Bomb. So that's actually very dangerous. It can't always so safely stay in on the Quillfish. It's a bit of a tech. It's a mix-up, the Curse on Quillfish. Because as you see here, Blastoise deals a significant amount of chip, and Quillfish doesn't have any recovery, whereas Blastoise does. But it is in 3-hit KO range, and yeah, so that can be kind of risky here. So Diophantine takes advantage of the speed drop from Curse and brings in his Nidoqueen. He knows that he can KO it with a Thunder here. He goes for it, but he misses. And on Esche's end, Quillfish is probably too valuable to just pass up immediately like that. Not to mention he wouldn't be gaining so much because Nidoqueen survives one Hydro Pump. Omastar, as predicted, comes in on the Granbull. We still can't rule out the fact that it might be, I don't know, Lovely Kiss or Empower Ground, in which case it could be very, very dangerous to bring in the Omastar here. And we see Pursuit, very interesting as well. Pursuit Electabuzz doing significant chip damage to the Omastar. It might not be able to switch in next time on the Granbull. I'd like to check the calc real quick. Based off of the last damage input that that Granbull seemed to put out against Omastar, 15%. It's at 31% with spikes. It barely scratches the surface of the KO. Maybe it does more, depending on some damage calc. This should be real quick. So we do Granbull and Omastar. Let's see what we get. If it dies to spikes. So with a return and it being at 31 HP, there is a chance at 2-hit KOing, but it's slower, so no. Okay, unless he crits, this is not, this is a no-go. But it's still helpful, you know, that's still it still means that, you know, Diophantine has to watch out, because Esche can be hiding another coverage move. In which case that can mean trouble, because this team doesn't have another resist, unless there's maybe a Haunter, but I don't think there is a Haunter. So, yeah. So he decides to bring in the Omastar on the Granbull as expected, and he keeps it in on the Slowbro, I guess, to scout for Moon. I'm not sure. So with Ice Beam, I'm thinking that there might be a Hidden Power Electric or Surf. Surf Sleep Talk, very likely. Hypno here. This doesn't. Oh, it's a Sleep Talk Hypno, surely enough. So Hypno is really good because it's actually kind of bulky physically. I think it might be a little bit more than Slowbro, and the upside to it is that it's not afraid of Nidoqueen Thunders. And Reflect means that it's pretty good at handling offensive lines, so that's good. That was an interesting play. I'm going to go back to that. So we have Hypno here, and of course, Diophantine on turn 28 switches out, and Esche predicts that, so he makes a double from the Granbull into the Electabuzz so as to force out the Omastar, putting Diophantine on a receiving end. Really good play with the Pursuit and the Spike support there. Not to mention, Electabuzz and Slowbro, to a certain extent, kind of deny entry to Blastoise. So Diophantine goes for a really high reward switch into Blastoise to go for a Rapid Spin here. Good call. I'm commenting as the game goes just to... Oh, he gets a crit Pursuit. That's really good. So, Diophantine is going to have to make a lot of calls. His Hypno is the defensive backbone here. Without it, it seems like he'll have a really hard time. Well, I don't see any Nidoqueens, so he still may have some issues against Slowbro, that's for sure, because Hypno seems like the best answer. But with, although he does have Mr. Mime and Blastoise, so to switch into each of the stab moves. And Mr. Mime seems to be putting in some work here. Hypnosis Thunder threatens Slowbro. Actually manages to absorb Hypnosis. And, yeah, so Diophantine seems to be coming in on the, Electabuzz every time. Thunderbolt Pursuit, and maybe it's Rest and Sleep Talk. I actually played a game with Sapientia, and it turns out that Thunderbolt Pursuit, Rest, Sleep Talk, Electabuzz is not bad, so maybe it's that, I don't know. We see Granbull being forced to sleep here, and of course, Omastar comes in, as to be expected. Can deal a lot of damage to a Spiker, maybe... Pardon me, I'm a little bit hungry at the moment of recording this. Omastar stays in, so he's gonna smack Electabuzz pretty hard. Nope, never mind. Okay. So this Omastar seems to be in a really, really tough spot now. So somehow Diophantine is gonna have to deny entry of Quillfish, otherwise that Omastar is dead. And that means that Granbull here is going to sweep. So, very likely at least. We don't know what the 6th Pokemon is. So, if I had to make... let's see. So I'm gonna make let's try and make an educated guess as to what could be in the back here. So there definitely has to be an electric resist. Arguably, Rest Sleep Talk means that the Electabuzz could be a resist, but I wouldn't count on it too much, because you really want the speed of Electabuzz, so you want it to be reliable at switching in, and making offensive plays, especially with the way Esche has been using Pursuit, and to great success, I'd say. So there might be a Nidoqueen here. On the other hand, there could be a Blossom, and there has to be a Haze user. So possibly a Crobat. Crobat seems like it works on this team. I could be wrong, there could be something that I have been leaving out here, but I have the feeling that with a Curse Quillfish, this team can have somewhat of a hard time against Scyther, and I don't see any checks thus far, so Crobat seems very likely here. Given the slow kind of pressure that Esche has been applying, deals nearly 2-hit KOs the Hypno with, reaches a 2-hit KO range. Hypno here can, if it's not a roll, does 48 upon 48 damage. That's a lot, but Hypno in turn is also dealing quite a bit of damage on the Granbull. Now, Diophantine really has to be careful about Slowbro coming in here. Diophantine wants to set up, so he's gonna, he's gonna set up his Granbull to behind Reflect, so that's pretty good. And she's like, "Are we doing this?" And Diophantine's like, "We don't have to, but we can." So it looks like a curse war is about to ensue. This is pretty interesting. This could potentially end the game, but I wouldn't count on it on on the fact that Esche at least has a he 90% has a haze user in the back. So if Diophantine were for any reason able to take out, he's actually forced to face the Granbull in a Curse War now. And if for any reason he manages to take out the opposing Granbull, then Esche can just come in with a haze user and cancel out all of the stat boosts, or even attack it with Electabuzz if he feels like it. Even Slowbro. Okay. But it's not over yet. It's not over because Mr. Mime is gonna come and save the day. So, what's he gonna go for? He goes for Psychic. Okay. Solid choice. But now, if we haven't seen anything, okay. I wonder why. So, I'm wondering why he didn't switch into Nidoqueen. Possibly because the Quillfish is actually something to worry about here, since everything else is slower, and Blastoise can't switch in. I'm assuming that could be one reason. Then he needs his Nidoqueen also to take care of anything like a Scyther here, something like that. If there were for any reason to be a secondary sweeper, I wouldn't be surprised, I guess. So yeah, not looking too good game one, but let's see how it plays out. So this time he does switch in, and Esche seems pretty confident that he doesn't have to extend anything. He's gonna go to a Piloswine to switch in on the Thunder, as Slowbro definitely doesn't want to be taking Thunders all day. And now Esche has dealt some damage to the Blastoise. What's he gonna come in with? He's gonna come in with his Granbull. He wants to replenish its HP. With some leftovers, maybe he'll stay in a turn and go for rest. No, he does not. Blastoise is going to Sleep Talk, can deal some Surf damage, or go for a useless Rapid Spin. He goes for the Rapid Spin. It was a Sleep Talk roll, so, and here, Blastoise is forced to switch once again, and Esche is going to continue applying pressure every day with this Electabuzz. Playing it like I've never seen before. Really good on him. Switches in the Piloswine again. This time, Diophantine throws out a Earthquake, and I'm pretty sure right now he's wishing he had Fire Blast, because he dealt 30%, and Fire Blast would be dealing a lot to the Piloswine right now. It would be forcing it out. So, Nidoqueen, Ice Beam is good because Earthquake PP is not infinite, and Ice Beam can be a way of dealing significant chip damage to other Nidoqueen. At least that's what I'm thinking of right now. So, let's have a look at what Fire Blast can do. It's super effective, so I think. Yeah, so it doesn't KO it, but at 70, but still. So yeah, here Diophantine's probably gonna want to burn some of those Sleep Talk turns, or at least replenish Blastoise's health. Switch, force out the Piloswine, bait the Electabuzz in, maybe deal some chip damage. Find out finally if there is a rest on it. No, instead he gets Rapid Spin once again. He couldn't get more unfortunate, because now the Electabuzz is gonna force this Blastoise out. It's gonna take some more chip damage, and it's gonna be even harder for it to come in. Luckily though, no crits on the switch out, so Nidoqueen at least comes in for free and can do what it did last turn. Again with an Earthquake. Yeah, Esche's just playing it, very safe here. Turn 69, well. And, okay, Diophantine going for the aggressive option, uses a Surf this time round. The Electabuzz can't just use Pursuit. It's gonna have to use Rest, okay, as expected. If it has Rest, it has to. Otherwise, it would just, I don't know, it's not, it could try and attack, but you're not gaining much. And Esche definitely wants the Electabuzz to be healthy, so, him, he says. What was he thinking? Yeah, Diophantine probably despised that the idea. He probably despises this Electabuzz as much as I do. So, yeah. Moving on. Let's move on a little more, see if anything develops here. So this is an interesting turn of events. Now something can... No? Okay, he doesn't stay in. Why? So he wants his Quillfish to replenish HP here. He goes for the Spikes, even though Psychic could kill it right here, and he would lose the Spikes War. And it dies. Okay, I'm not sure. I mean, he's still in a good spot. Here we see, okay, so we see Scyther. I was wrong, there was no Haze user. Unless it was Slowbro all along? I'm not sure. Maybe Curse Hate? No, that would be dumb. Curse Hate's Quillfish sounds really dumb. So, okay, well, sometimes you find some text for situations if you feel confident enough that you can apply the right sort of pressure. Scyther here is really, really threatening. Ooh, okay. So, the reason why... Oh, that's the game. Yeah, that's game one. Yeah, that's pretty much game one, I think. Unless this Hypno can do something, but reason why is because the Nidoqueen has to use Thunder, since it doesn't have Fire Blast. Fire Blast 2 hit KOs, but Thunder does a pretty good amount of damage, has less precision. That 15% can make an accuracy difference, can make a huge, well, it makes a huge difference, actually, and Scyther 2 hit KOs. Ice Beam does not KO the Scyther. So it's actually deceptively bulky and deceptively fast. So it has hidden power ground and wing attack. So the only chance here is to like set up a reflect, but maybe he Diophantine quits here. Yeah, he forfeits. So yeah, that's the game. That's game 1 for you, ladies and gentlemen. Now we'll you know, wait a moment and we'll move on to game 2. And we're back, and this time we're looking at game 2. In game 1, what happened essentially was near the ending, a Quillfish was in against the Hypno. Diophantine had the Hypno, it had a Reflect and Sleep Talk and Psychic, and the Quillfish stayed in, which is strange, to say the least. But it turns out that during the Sleep Talk roll, the Hypno KO'd the Quillfish, and in comes Scyther, who set up with Swords Dance, and then, well, Diophantine had to forfeit because it would essentially just sweep the team from there. Even if it didn't sweep the entire team, it would have been in a situation where the Esche could have just baton passed. So now we're on to game 2, and this time we see once more Mr. Mime versus a Scyther in lead position. I don't know how common that is. I'm going to put it on slow. So Gyarados is instead a very, very solid check against Scyther, but as we see, Esche is prepared, so he brings Frustration as coverage, as opposed to the usual hidden power. This leaves him with a chance of running hidden power bug, even depending on his preference. So that takes away half health from Gyarados, but Diophantine switches into Haunter, goes back to Gyara. This time, yeah, this thing's broken, Diophantine writes in the chat, and he's not wrong. But here comes Piloswine. Piloswine's always been interesting for me because it's it serves a similar function to Blossom in a way, because it switches in on Thunders. It takes Ice a little bit better. It doesn't take Surf as well, though. So it's a good check to Electrics, or at least allows you to, you know, absorb Electric. So even to a better extent than Blossom for obvious reasons. So Hypno, and once again we see Slowbro. Then we have Extra Chewy, which is Esche's Quillfish. I don't think that this time around he's going to be pulling any shenanigans like using spikes and then letting his Quillfish die. Not that it gets KO'd at full, but Diophantine takes the opportunity of the Quillfish to bring in his own and lay his own spikes. Always a good opportunity to do that. And back comes the Hypno. We know for a fact that Esche's Slowbro is a Surf Psychic, so it's very, very hard to handle. Especially if the Hypno were to faint. So Diophantine, though, doesn't have much of a choice but to stay in if he doesn't want anything to take an unnecessarily large amount of chip damage. If he manages to bring Slowbro's HP down low enough, then he can bring in his Mr. Mime. But as I say that, his Hypno is forced to rest, and then comes Scyther, and then Esche doubles to Nidoqueen. Diophantine going with a... well, his Gyarados, fortunately for him, can recover HP because it is Spikes immune, so that's always beneficial here. Not only did he manage to, you know, delay the threat of a Scyther sweep thanks to Gyarados, because initially it's a good check, but even if it does have a Frustration or something, but it got HP, it got some HP back, so yeah. Hypno doesn't like to take Earthquakes. Yeah. But as soon as it sets up Reflect, it's pretty much set to take on the Nidoqueen. So Esche will obviously respond, and he's going to switch to Slowbro, as this is probably the answer that, besides giving him potentially some momentum, also it makes sure that he doesn't relay too much information. So Diophantine goes with an early rest. Hypno obviously outspeeding the Slowbro, and Esche is probably trying to fish for a Psychic drop here. So Mr. Mime, this is okay. It's not a Thief, Mr. Mime. So okay, so let's see. Throws out a Thunder as a Magneton comes in. Magneton being a very solid check to normal Pokemon, but also Psychic types due to this Steel typing. So Esche has come quite prepared. Of course, Diophantine has as well. They're both excellent players. And Piloswine goes for an Earthquake, and Slowbro takes it like a champ. That's because Slowbro has a higher defense than Slowking, for those of you who don't know. Both of them are allowed because they have a different Pokedex number. So, for very stally teams, if anyone were to decide that. In any case, Diophantine's Mr. Mime wants to threaten as much as it can. He goes for a Substitute here, so he baits the switch and goes for Substitute. I don't know if it's able to resist, but it has Fire Punch. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, so Sub Fire Punch, Thunder, and probably Psychic as well on the Mr. Mime. That's actually really cool. Really cool. And Esche brings in his Arcanine. And Arcanine has some insane bulk. It's actually pretty crazy. So, so neither of the two teams have a Spiker, or rather a Rapid Spinner. So in the scenario that a Quillfish should be facing a Nidoqueen, the Quillfish is advantaged because it has higher speed. And Nidoqueen can 2-hit KO it with Earthquake, but Quillfish can 2-hit KO with a Hydro Pump. So if we don't count the fact that Quillfish could miss a Hydro Pump, or the Nidoqueen could paralyze it, then it's technically favored. So and in any case, it's still a good trade to even just to weaken the Nidoqueen if you only intend staying for one turn. It's usually really good. Yeah. So Gyarados here coming in on Hidden Power Bug, Scyther. Yeah, I like if I use Hidden Power Bug, I like to have normal coverage. So usually Scyther has Hidden Power Ground and Wing Attack, or Hidden Power Bug and normal. Maybe something else. Haunter is also really good at coming in on Quillfish's moves, but it has to be careful on teams that have Rapid Spinners. In this case, we have a Thief Haunter, and I'm pretty sure Diophantine manages to get a Thief off one of the targets that he intended to hit. Arcanine being insanely bulky, sometimes it surprises me. Fire and Crunch as coverage, so not really good. It's probably a Rest Sleep Talker given how defensive this team is. And Slowbro is going to come in every day on this Quillfish, but it doesn't want to be taking all of these Sludge Bombs all the time, especially if awake, because it only takes one switch in for Diophantine to put this Slowbro on the ropes here. Hypno, on the other hand, is just going to stall, use Reflect, maybe not use Sleep Talk so as to preserve some PP here, depending on the situation. But in this case, yeah, now he can stall and just not use any Sleep Talk. Right, so moving on to another turn, we have a long exchange here. Diophantine seems to have very solid defenses, and he knows what he's doing. It sounds like I'm saying it as if he didn't know what he was doing, but Hypno manages to KO the Magneton. I think that is a roll. Let's see, that was interesting. It's interesting to know whether Esche meant to sack or not. So, Hypno and Magneton. So 16%. It did 16, so yeah, Esche meant to sacrifice it. Or, no, he didn't, because in the chat he writes RIP. Maybe he thought that Diophantine was going to use Reflect. I don't know. We'll find out. But it also means that Scyther can come in for free here. Scyther is very threatening. It doesn't have any leftover recovery. That means that it's probably Thief. Because it didn't say that the leftovers were stolen, so it's a Thief Scyther. That's really solid in conjunction with Spikes, as many of the answers to set up Pokemons are very susceptible to Spikes and cannot come in all day on attacks. At the very least, you can chip things like Crobat. Piloswine taking a lot of damage from that Fire Blast here, which is super effective. Okay. With that Magneton out of the way, though, Haunter looks really scary here. He brings in Mr. Mime instead. Makes sense, considering how weak the rest of the team is. He can just sub here, or go for a Psychic. It doesn't outspeed the Arcanine, but it's still taking a lot of damage. So, goes to Quillfish, Arcanine with extreme speed, so it was not a Rest Talk variant, but this is something of a minor check for any fast sweepers, so that's what the extreme speed is there for. Quillfish coming in and inviting Slowbro in, because Diophantine just stays with Hypno. Diophantine wants to keep Hypno above 50 so as to avoid any critical hits. And, oh, there's a Spadef drop. Now he's kind of forced to use Rest here, I think. Never mind, I lied. Haha. Okay, wait, let's see. Let's have another look at that turn here, and consider why he might have done that. So, the Gyarados doesn't die to a Psychic. I get it, you don't want to stay in on Spadef drops either, so... Okay. He gets a Para. He does 41% to the Slowbro. So that's really good. He could... I don't know if he wants to make a move here besides attacking. Attacking is good because the crit, or the full Para can be huge. So, now... Yeah, he's... Okay. Yeah, taking care of the Slowbro is probably the most important thing for Diophantine right now, who seems to be walling the team. But if he can break through these defenses or get lucky because of an unfortunate roll on Esche's end in terms of sleep, then he can take care of it. Or get a crit. He doesn't have Infinite Thunders, but he has 10 more, and he hasn't taken any psychic damage. Now the Slowbro's at full. Keeps on missing these Thunders. All he needs is a crit. Oh, this is looking pretty scary now. I don't know if he wants to lose this Gyarados, but he decided that the more valuable thing to be taken care of right now is the Slowbro. Mr. Mime can really threaten this Slowbro with Thunder, dealing about upwards of 50%. What will he do? Will he sub? No. He still outspeeds the Nidoqueen. And at this point, if Slowbro were to come back in, it would be in range of a Thunder after taking psychic damage. So Esche sacks the Nido. In comes Scyther, who probably outgoes Mr. Mime at this percent. Will he attack or will he set up? He goes for an attack, but Haunter walls this every day of the week. So there's no HP ground, so the only super effective damage he can deal is with Thief, stealing the already stolen leftovers. But Haunter KOs. Now it looks like Diophantine is in a much better spot. Or I could be wrong. Maybe I'm... Let's see here. With the spikes damage, this Slowbro is looking like it's in a very tough spot. So... Well, Esche decides to bring in Slowbro anyway. There isn't really much point in postponing it. And Slowbro dies to Thunder. Alright guys, if you think that, you know, there's any corrections you'd like to make on this last game that I've been commentating on, by all means, do so, especially you, Dio. I'm sure that there's much that can be said about this game that I probably didn't cover very well. Now, alright. I gotta get the charger. I'll be with you. Winner takes all, and goes home with the trophy of underused.
A few moments later.
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright. Let's try that again. Okay, game 3. Winner takes all and goes on with a trophy. You see, another time, lead Hypno versus lead Electabuzz. From the Electabuzz, we see a switch to Hypno on Esche's end. Diophantine goes to his Nidoqueen and switches back to Hypno. Now Diophantine's Hypno is paralyzed through Thunder Wave. So it's a T-Wave Psychic. Perhaps there is a screen, or it's just Rest and Sleep Talker. This means that Diophantine doesn't really have to do anything. He can just sit here and preserve BP or just stall out the other Hypno. In comes a Gligar. First time I see that. Gligar with Screech, oh god, that's scary. Screech is very scary. So, Diophantine has to switch out, brings in his Blastoise. This is looking very, very much like the teams that he uses. I just played a lot of friendlies with him, that's why. So, Blastoise obviously scaring out the Gligar here. And, I don't know, but like, that's an interesting form of setup, to use Screech and force out a lot of switches. I'm guessing that there is going to be a Quillfish on this team as well, on Esche's team as well. So, whereas on the other side we have Reflect Hypno, looking more like a Snow team, but could be wrong. But with Rapid Spin, I don't expect there to be a lot of Baton Pass going on, unless it's from like a Scyther. Esche going for a T-Wave constantly because he wants to be able to catch something besides Hypno, but Diophantine is not in any hurry to switch out here, except for when he decides that it's a good opportunity to do that. He still brings in Granbull, which doesn't mind the paralysis as much as something else might. And he gets paralyzed. Fully paralyzed. Was it a lovely kiss? I guess we won't know. Thief Omastar. Wow, okay. Thief Omastar stealing lefties from none other than Blastoise. That's really good because it seems to naturally bait in that Blastoise. This Blastoise is going to be taking a lot of damage from spikes, and it's going to be can be worn out quite quickly even with Rapid Spin, especially if it isn't able to deal damage while asleep. So, yes, Omastar coming in again. You see some of the usual drills, and here is Empower Ground, dealing 32%. So after a curse, that can be really scary, but okay. And now it's still not in. It still has to take 2 more hits. Okay, Sandstorm, Sandstall. All right. Okay, so fun fact: Sandstorm Omastar. I've used this in an OU tournament and some moderate, actually no success, but I mean it felt a lot. It was a lot of fun to use. So the idea with Sandstorm is you have to have Rock, Ground, or Steel types on your team. Generally things that are not going to be taking damage from Sand. And in Generation 2, Sand not only cancels out lefties, but deals total 12.5 damage, so it's actually dealing extra damage to Pokemon with leftovers. So that's not like any other generation, and less reflectors. So we might expect a Shuckle in the back. And Protect, of course, for the Omastar to gain HP, while anything that tries to attack has to go out. And there comes the Quillfish, as I thought. So this is indeed a Sand Spike Stall, and are we going to see a Toxic? I don't know. Maybe. That would be very interesting. Quillfish is not Sand immune. Go figure. But still. So here comes the thing to threaten all of the water types, and Electabuzz is going to be forcing out a switch, but maybe it's not Pursuit. Let's see. Thief. Ooh, okay. So double Thief, Sand Spike Stall. And in comes the Ice Beam, the check to Ice Beam Needle. Once again, Diophantine brings in an Ice Beam Nidoqueen and no Fire Blast. So goes to Scyther, doubles back to Nidoqueen, as he kind of doesn't have much of a choice here. And Piloswine is actually pretty bulky, and it can take hits pretty well from the best. So now Blastoise is going to take some damage. I don't think that this is Pursuit. I think we're going to see a Psychic. So Diophantine might want to switch to Hypno here. Yeah. For the record, some of Electabuzz' moves are mutually exclusive. So, I believe Cross Chop and Pursuit are incompatible. Oh, we saw an Ice Punch, Thief, Thunderbolt. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, these Hypnos kind of just stall each other out. But I think Diophantine has the upper hand in a way, because he doesn't have to. Like, if he gets paralyzed, there's a chance that it preserves more PP, whereas Esche, one way or another, always has to consume his. Spadef Drop, just as I was about to announce the possibility. It comes in, and what do we get? Okay, a bit of chip. This isn't rest, so that's actually very handy. Diophantine's not switching out, though. Essentially, Esche switched to Electabuzz, and that way he forced Diophantine to use another Psychic PP. He has to watch out, because they're not infinite. In a stall game, Psychic can be pretty scarce. You may end up running short when you need it the most, so. Brings in his Blastoise, he's going to take the opportunity to just spin. Good on him to come in on a Thunder Wave. Now at least he can prevent the Quillfish from coming in, ideally. And while the Sand as a strategy isn't by any means weak, it doesn't seem like, besides the Hypno, that he's going to have much else to respond to Psychic. But Gligar is definitely really handy against Scyther, so. Spadef Drop means that the Electabuzz is going to have a much easier time taking care of this Hypno, especially since it's not Thunder Wave. He's going to double back, though. Wow. Okay. Good call. Good call to use Rest at 99%. Because that's not sarcastic, by the way. Okay. Yes, it looks like it is a bit on the stallier side, but is this going to be a Curse Quillfish? Possibly. I'm kind of curious to see. Alright, goes for the Spikes. Where's the turn to rest? Goes for a Sludge Bomb, so maybe it's not. Okay. So here, Quillfish can deal damage to the Blastoise at the cost of Diophantine's Blastoise having to use Rest on the following turn. No spin, so that's why Diophantine goes for some chip, and here he's going to use Rest. No crit, means he gets recovers HP back to full. Blastoise, in my opinion, is favored against Quillfish, but, you know, let me know what you guys think. Because this Quillfish doesn't have any recovery. He can just stall, he can use Rapid Spin, which has 64 PP, by the way. Double the amount of PP that Spikes has. So. Rapid Spin, boom. Now, Quillfish has to go for Spikes, ideally, or just go for a, you know. Instead, Esche decides to bring in the Electabuzz on the turn that Blastoise goes to sleep, and this is for a good reason, because now, next time it has to come in, he's going to have to go through 2 more turns of Sleep Talk. He's going to be taking damage, he's going to be forced to use Rest once more, and this is how in GSC we use this strategy to renew sleep cycles and maintain momentum, even when the opposing Pokemon that you can't seem to damage, even when that Pokemon is not on the field, so yeah. Okay, just gonna move forward a bit. 11 PP left. Ramble takes takes some damage here, but it gets walled by the. Oh no, it doesn't get walled because it's hidden power. Return Rest Sleep Talk. So it doesn't get walled by Omastar, but it takes a lot of damage from Surf. So this is a really cool set. Yeah, Scyther coming in. Pretty especially bulky, so yeah, good call to switch, I suppose. Not to mention that Diophantine has maintained momentum because he made a double into Scyther on the Hypno, and then Baton passes, goes to Hypno again, sets up his Reflect. Reflect with a lot of PP here. Now, what's he gonna do? He's gonna set up, he's gonna try and break through. Passes to Granbull, oh dear, okay. Okay. Things are getting pretty scary now. If Omastar takes this, it'll be at like 10% if it takes a hidden power. If it takes a return, it's good. Wow, he got the best possible move on this turn. Granbull can still now the worst move would be return. Rest at least resets the situation. Esche has to go for Surf. He can't use any other move here. He doesn't want Granbull to get HP back. Goes for another Surf. Is he gonna break through? Is he gonna break it? Is he gonna kill it? And yes. Wow, that did more than I thought. Okay, so here, Qwilfish is gonna use Haze or Hydro Pump. What's he gonna choose? Yeah, safe. Okay, Sludge Bomb. Oh yeah, it was it wasn't a curse, it was a Swords Dance, so yeah, Sludge Bomb KOs as well. No, so it was either Haze or Sludge Bomb. But yeah, no, it's probably better to just go for Sludge Bomb since you just KO the threat if Diophantine chooses to stay in. So yeah, that was it was without a doubt the move to do to click. Silly me. Wow, Triple Thief, okay. You've stolen Thief from Hypno, Blastoise, and Neo Queen. The three best. Diophantine still has his own Omastar, which seems pretty threatening in the right conditions. He can't stay with Scyther here. He could Baton Pass. Is he going to do it? He goes for Baton Pass. Let's have a look. So, Esche switched out of Hypno, probably because it's more important for him to preserve the Hypno's HP than for it to actually threaten stuff or to cripple the Scyther. But, Scyther can live surprisingly long, especially thanks to its flying type. Granbull here is going to use Rest. Okay, so Diophantine keeping it safe because this Gligar could have Hidden Power Rock. Oh, the Screech missed on turn 87. Watch. That sucks. Okay. Alright. Actually, gonna try and get his spikes back, but he's gonna... Okay, so he's gonna hit the Blastoise. Blastoise is running out, indeed. No Sleep Talk PP. It's not going to be a winning matchup forever. Especially if he keeps getting Rapid Spin out of those Sleep Talk turns. Diophantine might want to preserve PP. What's he gonna do? Goes for another. Alright. If he can just stall 8 Sludge Bombs, then he'll be in a good spot. But... And Hypno takes a lot of damage from Sludge Bomb. Blastoise is also in a tough spot. He managed to stay in, and now the spikes have put Blastoise in a situation where it can't come in and spin for free. It would have to go for a Sleep Talk roll, so looks like those spikes are there to stay. Now, Gligar can do its magic. Use Screech, force something out, hit something else, and rinse and repeat. And gain HP slowly. Use a Screech on Scyther. Scyther... This is looking kind of worrisome here. Now Esche can make a prediction. No? Yeah. Okay. Screech missed again. Well, I don't know the accuracy on that move. And the damage calc doesn't have any accuracy checks. Omastar goes for Ice Beam. And then Diophantine goes to his Nido. Doubles the Scyther. Good. Good call. Wow. Okay. That didn't gain him anything though. Actually, Blastoise only lost HP from that exchange. And Screech has a lot. Wow. Screech has been used 9 times already. Not to mention the crit on the Hypno here. Are we gonna see Hidden Power Rock? Gligar survives unless it's a Hyper Beam. Nope, not Hyper Beam. Yeah, no, I don't think he. Omastar. Yeah, there we go. So we saw the Hidden Power. Hidden Power Rock. This is quite a long game. Oh my god. This Hypno can make it. This Hypno can do it. Oh, it won the speed tie. It won the speed tie, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus. How did he come out of that unscathed? He has overall much higher HP than the rest of the team. No, okay, well, it's like... I mean, he has 6 Mons versus 5. This can actually be pretty tough right now. This is a lot of back and forth here, but this Gligar is not going anywhere. This Gligar can do a lot. He can continue to spam Screech. Look at all that PP. He can just win against like a couple of these just out of PP. This Granbull looks like it's the one to decide the fate of the match here. Is it going to actually manage to hit this Gligar and pull that trigger? Come on. Oh, okay. Nope. We have a Screech miss and a Hidden Power ground against the Flying type turn. And it missed twice, by the way. And Granbull can might actually be valuable for Diophantine to make this Gligar retreat. Granbull can do something here. Wow, he dealt half HP to Willfish. Alright. He needs that Granbull to stay healthy for Gligar. This is a very, very tight spot. Ladies and gentlemen. Whoa! 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 What was that? The prediction from my man. Oh my god. He predicted he predicted Esche to double out. He needs a Gligar. He's just like, no, I'm gonna hit you. Oh my god. How much does that do? Was that guaranteed? That was holy crap. Okay. Let's see. So, you might not be able to see this, but... So, Thunderbolt 8... What? What? Ah! That was a roll! Oh my god. That was a roll! That was not... Oh wow, it paid off. Holy crap, that was risky as hell. But that was probably an educated guess. I can't even comprehend. Oh my god. We gotta see some moves from this Electabuzz here, otherwise I don't know what's gonna happen. He needs to get a crit. Luckily he has a lot of PP left and Nidoqueen can't come in all day, considering Ice Punch, but... wow, he took care of one of the most important threats here. Now she's got a freaking 6-0 something, I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a reverse sweep. This is not looking good for him. Yeah, he has spikes, and he has one of the best special attackers. So that's not nothing. And he has Hypno. Hypno's also really strong. Look at that. He has only 4 PP left, though. He can't do this forever. He, you know, he's gonna have to start preserving that PP. Unless he thinks that he can do something else. Of course, he can always roll a Psychic through Sleep Talk. To this point, the Hypno has not been put to sleep. So I don't know what's gonna happen here. Quillfish comes in. Okay. This is really... Oh my god, oh dear, oh lord. Okay. What was that? What's the plan for this? Diophantine, keeping it safe. What's gonna happen? Hypno. No Psychic. No Psychic. Okay. Does he have any Psychic left? He has 7 Psychics left. Okay. Okay. Sleep Talk. Probably wants to get that Reflect. What's he gonna do? Jeez, if you get... Okay, so he's preserving the PP now. What's he gonna do? Reflect? No. Psychic. He wants to hit the Electabuzz. Actually trying to bait out that Psychic. I'm curious as to what this set is, because over 137 turns and we haven't even seen what all the moves this Hypno has. He might be hiding something. Like a Cursed Shadow Ball. That'd be really scary. 4 Psychics left versus 3. Rest? Okay, so no, it's not Cursed Shadow Ball. And... Sleep Talk. Yep. And he has like 16 of these to use. This Granbull. What on earth? What on earth is going on? What's gonna happen? The Hypno is down. What is happening? That's all I can say. Oh, of course, crit EQ. Okay. Jesus. Oh my god, crit EQ. Sleep Talk turn. Oh my god, he could crit again. Or goes for Rapid Spin, or goes for Surf. I think Surf is better here. Oh, he gets Rapid Spin. Dang. Quillfish can come back and lay those spikes down once more if he wishes. Is he gonna sack the Omastar? Now he can just use Ice Beam. Oh, wow. This is looking scary. There's also a speed tie involved here. Scyther can beat it. Nidoqueen survives. Can use Moonlight. Goes for EQ. So close to the finish line. From them, you can see this game ending. What's happening? Setup. Oh my god. Was that not a Blastoise turn? Oh, he gets hit by Ice Beam, obviously, and... Baton passes. Paralyzed Ramble. No. Hold your horses, folks. Oh my god. Ah! So much damage. Oh man, Earthquake does even more. No. What's going on? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I don't understand. I can't understand. No. What is happening? No. Oh, fuck. Are you gonna surf, mate? Okay. But this is looking kind of scary. Yeah, he has to stay in now with the Blastoise. Too risky, too risky. It was a 50-50. But now he can't really KO the Piloswine. He has to keep Granbull alive somehow. Piloswine can just attack and attack and attack. Diophantine wants that Nido to stay alive, just to dodge one more Thunder. Or, yeah. Oh god. Oh dear. Ah. Ooh. Ah. I can't even. Why? No. Sex. No. Well, yeah, he can't. He can't attack. Ah, he can't even sleep talk. Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, crit Thunderbolt on turn 185. Esche wins. This was not supposed to end like that. Oh, wow. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, guys, I've been dumbfounded, and, you know, just, like, subscribe, I guess, and stay tuned. GG. Congrats to Esche. I wasn't... Yeah, congrats.